Okay, let's continue with question number 12. Maximizing profit is equivalent to maximizing revenues if, well, this is not so clear, so we should make some calculations. Okay, let's maximize profits and let's maximize revenues. Okay, if we do it, maximizing profits is the derivative of the total revenue minus the derivative of the total cost, so marginal cost. Okay, marginal revenue minus marginal cost equal to 0. That's what we will impose. Maximizing total revenues would imply equalizing to 0 marginal revenue. Then these two equations are equal or tell us the same if marginal cost is 0, and marginal cost is 0 whenever the total costs are equal to the fixed cost, yeah, by integrating here or just by differentiating the fixed cost, we get 0. Okay, so C is clearly true, but also B, because if the total cost consists only on fixed cost, the variable costs are 0. Okay, so the first one, A, should be false, and in fact it is, because as we have seen already that the total cost should be this form, then the average total cost, that is total cost divided by Q, would stand fixed cost divided by Q. Okay, and this is not constant. Okay, this remind is an hyperbolic decreasing curve. So A is false, then the correct one is D. Now 13th, monopsony. Okay, remind that a monopsony is a firm that is the unique buyer of a certain good or of a certain input, yeah, usually L labor force. Okay, now the monopsony causes a deadweight loss because it doesn't buy as much labor as it would do if it were a competitive firm. Yes, this is true. This is true. If we look at this graph, the monopsonist could hire this quantity of labor because the supply of labor with its demand of labor would cut here. Okay, but it decides to hire less. It cuts the marginal expenditure with the demand curve and it goes down to set these low wages, okay, and generates, of course, this deadweight loss. Then this deadweight loss, we could say that it's because of the existence of the monopsony and what implies less labor force hired. Yeah, even if the government sets an appropriate maximum wage policy, no, the government could set maximum. Sorry, this is not correct. It should be a minimum wage policy. Minimum wage. Okay, here it says minimum. Be careful. A minimum wage policy from here to above. I am forcing the monopsonist to hire at higher wages. Okay. Then, if I am forcing to hire at higher wages, now the monopsonist could hire also these workers because it wins this little area here. Okay, remember that now the blue area is a surplus for the monopsonist, okay, for the firm, and this is from workers. Okay, so this is false because I should have put here minimum wage, okay, no maximum wage. Sorry, it's lower than the deadweight loss caused by a monopoly. This is stupid. Okay, we can't compare what a monopoly causes in this sense or a monopsony causes. Okay, so A. Now 14th, if a monopoly wants to maximize its revenues and currently is selling at a price such that the price elasticity of demand is equal to minus 1.2, then the monopolist should be careful. The question says maximizing the revenues. Okay, we should know that a monopoly maximizes its revenues when the elasticity is minus 1, when the price elasticity of demand is minus 1. So as we know from this unit elasticity point to the upper part, we have the elastic part. If the monopolist is selling at a point where the price elasticity of demand is minus 1.2, it means that the monopolist is selling in this part. So maybe if it wants to maximize profits, it's doing okay, but if it wants to maximize its revenues, it should go to this point where the price elasticity of demand is minus 1. So it should decrease the price. Okay, be careful. Okay, so it's B. Well, we will talk more about this condition. Okay, you have anyway explained by me and do the proof. I do always the proof in class. Okay, now 15th, in which of the following cases would be sensible subsidizing a monopoly? Well, if it's losing money, no. If I'm a monopolist, I do my work bad and I lose money. It's not the fault of the government. Okay. If it's a monopoly on a necessary good, no, it could be a monopoly on a necessary good because there were more firms and some of them have gone. It has no sense subsidizing a monopoly. Well, it has sense subsidizing a monopoly. In particular, the natural monopolies. Okay, we know that natural monopolies usually give negative profits because they have huge fixed costs or entrance costs. So it's good for society having only one firm, because the cost by two or more firms are higher. Okay, much higher. So 16th, now some question. Which of the following are examples of first degree, second degree, and third degree price discrimination? Okay, the publishers of Diario de Navarra charge a subscription price of 307 euros to individuals and 1,228 to libraries. Okay, this is clearly third degree price discrimination because a firm can't pretend to be a person and a person can't pretend to be a firm. So Diario de Navarra, firm, I should say libraries. Okay, Diario de Navarra is the monopolist in its advertising. Okay, so it finds that maybe libraries and individuals, they could be different. Okay, they have very different demands, and so it charges different price to each of them. It's clearly third degree. The telephone company charges you 0.05 euros per minute, if you make a long distance call from Monday to Friday, and 0.025 per minute on weekends. Okay, this is not third degree price discrimination because one person pays both of them. Okay, here in the first one person or one firm pays a unique of these prices. Okay, but now one individual pays both of them. Okay, so this is second degree. When you fly from Bilbao to London, the airline charges you 150 if you buy your ticket 14 days in advance, but 350 if you buy your ticket on the day of travel. Okay, this would be a kind of try to approximate to perfect price discrimination, okay? Because I think I'm the airline, okay? I'm thinking that maybe as the time, as the day of the flight is approximating, maybe the customers could pay more, okay? So I try to charge them the reservation price, okay? We know that first degree price discrimination is impossible to put in place exactly, so we should think about the intention, yeah, about when if we are able to approximate to it, okay? So I would answer here A, okay? Now 17th. In a market of fresh flowers in a small and isolated village, there are 30 consumers. Since all of them love fresh flowers and you have the unique flower shop in the surroundings of the village called White Rose, it would be very interesting for you to know the demands. 10 of them are men, and each one has the demand function Q equal to 20 minus P. Each of the women has the inverse demand function P equal to that for fresh flowers. The market demand curve for fresh flowers in the village is, so we just have to aggregate demands, okay? We first aggregate inside each group, and then we aggregate all the two groups, okay? Now, men, we have Q isolated. That's perfect, yeah? We have to look at the price range for which prices it has sense, this function economically, and it doesn't have sense for prices over 20. So no men would pay, over 20, yeah? And there are 10 men. So each man's demand function is Q equal to 20 minus P for prices below 20. So 10 men is 10 times the demand for each man. So 200 minus 10p, yeah, 10 times this. And okay, the price range doesn't change because the 10 men, they all have in mind that they don't want to pay more than 20. Now women, we need to isolate Q because we want to sum or to multiply the 20 women. They are in total are 30 people, and there are 10 men. So each woman's demand function, we isolate Q, that is Q halves equal to 20 minus P, then we carry 2 to the right hand side, is 40 minus 2P. For prices, which prices? Okay, we see that if we equalize Q to 0, we have also P equal to 20. So we are lucky, and both price ranges, are the same. So 20 women's aggregate demand is 20 times this individual demand for a woman. So 20 times this is 800 minus 40p. Now, as men and women's demand functions are for the same price ranges, we can just sum normally, and that's all, okay? So the market aggregate, so this is wrong, this is demand, not supply, sorry. The market aggregate demand is this plus this, so 1000, 10 and 40 minus 50p, okay? And the price range doesn't change. So if we look here, the correct one would be B, okay? Perfect. Now 18. Now you, White Rose, think that you could win more by charging different prices to men and women. Your costs are 250 plus 10Q, but you are not sure. Is it worth implementing the price discrimination in this case? What will your net gain be? Okay, we've learned that maybe it's not good for me, White Rose, to price discriminate. Okay, so let's see. Well, if I here I'm price discriminating, okay, if I practice price discrimination, I must equalize the marginal revenue of each group and also to equalize them to marginal cost. Okay, so be careful with the names of the variables, it's very important. Now, marginal revenue for men, we isolate PM, so we get the inverse demand function for men, and then we apply this trick with the double coefficient for Q. Okay, we equalize it to 10 because the costs were this 250 plus 10Q, so marginal cost is 10. Okay, then for women the same, we isolate PY is 800 minus Q divided by 40, so marginal revenue from women for this market called women market is 800 minus 2Q divided by 40 equal to 10. Okay, now, and of course the quantity I produce must be equal to the quantity that men and women will buy me. Okay, so now if we isolate here QM and here QY, okay, we have this is calculations that we should sell 50 units to 50 flowers or whatever to men and 200 to women. Okay, if we substitute these quantities here, the inverse demand, okay, here we get 200 minus 50 units to men, it's 150 divided by 10, 15. Okay, now women, 200 units, 200 flowers for women, 800 minus 200, 600 divided by 40 is 15. So we get that we don't need to, or it's not worth for us as a monopolist, it's not worth for us practicing price discrimination. So be careful. We have now this answer. Okay, so again, is it worth implementing the price discrimination in this case? No. What will your net gain be? 0. Net gain, I mean changing, yeah, from not practicing price discrimination to practicing price discrimination. We don't earn much money for that. 19. A monopoly with total cost equal to 1000, so be careful, only fixed cost, faces the demand Q equal to 100 minus 2P. If the firm is able to know the reservation price of each consumer, how much would its profits be? Its profits, okay? Well, the profits, it's per first degree price discrimination. We draw the demand, okay? We draw the demand. Then, as I know the reservation price of each consumer, I charge a different price to each unit or to each consumer until it's worth for me, as the marginal costs are 0 because total costs are fixed. Then I sell until the 100th unit. Okay, so my revenues are all this area, all this green, sorry, blue triangle. So 100 times 50 divided by 2, yeah, so 2500. Okay, these are the revenues. Okay, now the profits. 2500 minus 1000 is 1500. So we have that the correct one is B. Be careful, because I always tell you that first degree price discrimination is very easy, but you don't have many exercises, and it would be a pity doing it wrong at the exam. Okay, that's why I hope these exercises are good for you. 20th, if a monopoly charges 5 euros for a unit of its output and 35 euros for 10 units, the firm is practicing, okay, clearly second degree price discrimination, clearly. This is a bulk discount, and it's a type of second degree price discrimination. We will see afterwards the definitions of each type of price discrimination, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so which of the following are examples of first degree, second degree, and third degree price discrimination? Okay, the urban bus charges 2 euros for a one-way ticket and 7 euros for a day pass. Well, this is clearly second degree price discrimination. This is called bundling. It's very beautiful bundling, but we don't see nowadays. So I want to show you in these questions, in this tests. Okay, maybe one day I explain you in some video, and I hope you can learn it, even if you already are graduates. Okay, Iberdrola charges a fixed monthly amount of money and a per kilowatt-hour price for the electricity consumption. This is clearly second degree price discrimination. I usually do, when I have time, one of these exercises for you, but I think this is one of the most complicated, if not the most, of the subject. So this is clearly second degree. I will sell my old bike in Milanuncios in the following way. I will sell a high price today and will decrease 1 euro each day if I can't sell it. Well, what am I doing here? I am charging a high price. If someone pays it, okay, and it does. If no one pays it, I will try it the next day, and I'm trying to capture the customer that is willing to pay the most for it. Okay, so it's I'm trying to practice first degree discrimination. Okay, this is the idea. So I think that we should mark C. Yeah. Okay, here you have. We will make a little break and continue with the rest of the questions.